Let me get set up. Oops. All right, here we go. Hey, Monk. Get my headphones here. So the way I use my headphones is that I keep my left ear a little bit uncovered so that I can hear myself speaking a little better. Helps me from going insane. Hey, Aratasami. And Mock. I'll just call you Mock. Hi. Welcome. Alright, let's play this thing as we wait for people to come in to the stream. Oh, wait, I gotta make sure it's running. I believe it's already running, but we'll stop it and start it again. Alright. Yeah, looks like it's running. Oh, let me get pictures up too. Alright, so some of you may remember there's an old episode, you can find it on YouTube, where I started working on this track for Darkside Detective. And also, for those of you who don't know, Darkside Detective is a point-and-click adventure game in the style of like old LucasArts games like Monkey Island or Day of the Tentacle, things like that. And it has a kind of similar, like, irreverent sense of humor, kind of yeah, irreverent's probably the best word. Anyway, it's being developed by a team in Ireland called Spooky Doorway, and I'm doing the music for it. And this is one of the tracks for one of the cases where you're at a like a Cub Scout camp. And hey, Zach. Zach is if that's the Zach I'm thinking of, Zach is an old friend from college. We used to play System Shock 2 together, and it was awesome. Thanks, Monk, for linking to the previous episode. So that episode is leading up to this one. And so I'm mainly following the original direction for the music for this, which is Paul, who's sort of my liaison to the team, wanted to do He's also the artist. He does all the cool pixel art that you see. He wanted the game to sound kind of like an '80s John Carpenter movie, so that's like hence the cool bass line and everything, and the very synth heavy sound. And I'm mainly following that like idea for this level. I'm trying to give it sort of like a bit of an outdoor vibe without being too obvious. It's kind of hard to explain. But anyway, you guys should all like my Facebook page, because we have been talking about Darkside Detective all week, and we've got a bunch of Allison put together a bunch of like little biographies of all the team members of the game, and it's pretty cool. Like you get a little insight on everyone on the team, and she got me to write something about the soundtrack as well. So yeah, you guys should definitely check that out. Go on the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Ben Prunty Music. We've done a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, thanks, Monk. We've done a lot of cool stuff. Allison's been running the Facebook page, and it's awesome. So anyway, we are going to try to continue working on this. It's looks like it's about 2 minutes long. I hit this button and it shows me up here. It will show me the length, the song length. So I can switch from measure view to like a time view. So anyway, let's go over some of the elements here. We've got these pads here, which are synths. And then we have our bass, which is sort of the Darkside Detective like signature bass sound, which is this. And we got these bells and more synth work. And this, I don't even know what this is. What is this? Oh, it's something from Gravity. So you can see that this thing goes into, it has like 3 distinct sections so far. I'll pause it here. So we've got this beginning part, which is kind of like, starts out kind of freeform. We've got these chords here, which is this up here, which is a C sharp minor. And we just change octaves here. And we have a diminished chord. And then this bell part sort of leads the charge here and sort of like defines the rest of this section. It sort of acts as both the chord, the establishing chord, which is the C sharp minor, but it also kind of plays a melody at the same time. And then, hey Marty Wars, we got a question from Marty Wars. When are you going to set up the camera for the keyboard? That's a good question. I don't know. It means I need a separate camera and a way to like position it above the keyboard, and I don't have that yet. Like I've mentioned, probably you guys are sick of hearing this, but I'm working on a Patreon to support these creative live streams. And if the Patreon does well enough, I can get more equipment to like make this a little nicer. I can get like a filter for the microphone, so and we probably get a second camera so we can look at the keyboard. So sometime in the future, I'm pretty much finishing up everything with the Patreon. And oh, okay. So yeah, a lot of people don't know what Patreon is, and I should probably talk about that. So Patreon is a voluntary subscription service. And yeah, so Monk has been amazing and has posted links to everything I'm talking about. So thank you, Monk of Destiny. Patreon is a voluntary subscription service. You can basically set up. I can set up a project, like say, like I'm doing creative live streams. Please support what I'm doing, and then you can pledge to pay a certain amount of money every month towards me. You could be like $5, or it could be like $20, or it could be nothing. If you don't have to support, I will still make creative live streams. And you can get, so it helps support me continuing to do these things, because these live streams, like they take time away from me doing other projects. I mean, right now, of course, I'm working on one of my game soundtracks, so that's kind of nice. But I don't always work on them, and like I want to do a couple of these a week. And I also have, like, I'm working on a live show, and that takes away time from doing soundtracks, and soundtracks are my main source of income. I can like do this kind of Patreon where I'm getting some income from doing this, then I can like devote more time and money towards it. So yeah, if you do subscribe, there will be like benefits. You will get some perks, kind of like Kickstarter. It's very similar to Kickstarter, except that it's an ongoing thing. So yeah, I'm working on it, and I'm getting much closer. I've been making good progress on like figuring out rewards and like writing the pitch. I need to make a video, and then I can go up and can actually do it. And when we do actually start the Patreon, I'm going to do a day-long live stream marathon of making music to promote it, and that'll be like super fun. Hey, F-Kids. And hello, Nabalas. I don't really know how to pronounce that. So anyway, let's get to some music making. So I showed you that first section. The second section is just two alternating chords, and you can hear it from this. Everything's built around these two alternating chords. So it's very simple, right? It's like, it's just a very basic, let's see here. This is, again, we have our C. Whoops, well that's really, it sounds pretty awesome actually when you play that really low, at a low register. So it starts out the C sharp minor. And then we've got, I don't even know what this is. This is a while ago that we did this. Some kind of diminished chord with a ninth? No. Anyway. So my point is that it's a very simple chord progression, but we've built a lot of stuff around it. So let's listen to the whole section again. Oh, I've got it soloed. So it starts here. Hey, Alley Catnap. So it's kind of cool. We've got like we have something that sounds kind of vaguely ominous, but it's not too threatening, which is kind of what we want for Darkside Detective because it's like a point and click adventure game. It's kind of goofy and fun, and it's not really about like being legitimately scary. Um, it's using horror movie tropes to like tell a funny story. So we want to have like that atmosphere that like legitimizes the setting, but we don't want it to go too overboard. So this simple chord progression really helps with that. Like, so you have this minor chord and then this diminished thing. I'm still not even really sure what this thing is. Um, Someone with better music theory background would probably be able to identify that chord. I believe it's a diminished with an inverted ninth, but I could be wrong. Anyway, also shout out to Allie Catnap, who has been killing it with the Facebook page lately. She did, and I mentioned this earlier, but she did a whole uh, Darkside Detective focus week on the Facebook page. And you guys should all go follow. You should go check out the Facebook page and see what we did. So we have like sort of interviews with each one of the team members on Darkside Detective, and it's pretty awesome. And she got me to write a little write up for it for yesterday as well. So yeah, you should all go and like the Facebook page because we do a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, all right, so now we're going to move on to this last part here that we did. And I want to keep expanding with this last part. That's what we're going to do today. So, okay, let's listen to this. So, Ali Catnap, Moshi Soyo is Zach from college. You probably missed it when he introduced himself earlier. Okay, so I am going to expand on this part here. I want to do another melody similar to this one, but with a different instrument. So I can talk a little bit about this section too. So we have this little like rhythmic, like arpeggiated part here that repeats, and that's sort of what everything else is based on. So this is like the seed for this section. Right. So we start out with that to establish it just by itself. Well, there's a little bit of a pad here too in the background, but it's really quiet, right? So we establish this sound with the pad. And then after it's gone for a couple of measures, we introduce this melody part, which is very simple. And then the bass line comes in at the end of that melody. You'll notice that the bass line comes in while this is the very last note of this melody before the next section comes, which is here, right? So this melody is done talking, and the bass line comes in to pick up the slack as this thing ends, and then this comes in also to fill in this empty space. So like this part comes in, stops, these parts take over for the second half of this section. So, yeah, there's one way to like make an interesting melodies. You have like one part talk, and then it goes away and another part talks in response. I say talk, but you know what I mean. And then we do it again. We do basically the same thing. There's a new melody, but it ends in the same way. Like it ends, I believe, even on the same note. They're both C sharp, yeah. So it does almost the same thing, but we do like a new melody that sort of responds to the old one. Here, I'm going to just glue these together so it's one big part. So let's listen to that too, the second part here. So now we got the bass line in, and we're adding another layer of that same arpeggiated part that the bell was playing. So, and we have a new little like percussion thing from this gravity. Right, so this came in again to complete the conversation that this started, that this melody down here started. So listen to the whole thing all together. You can kind of see how it all comes together. So, talking about this melody again, you'll notice that if we zoom out here, this is a full octave, in fact, a little bit more above this one. So we have like this conversation started, and this conversation started with this, and then this responded to this part in a way. And by being a separate octave, it also like gives it a new feeling and feels more like a response. So all these parts are sort of conversing with each other. Like this converses with this, but then this also converses with this. I know it's a little hard to explain, but I'm hoping that this is an interesting explanation for like how this works. Let me know if I'm making any sense at all or being useful in any way. So yeah, I think a good composition method is like setting up instruments to converse with each other, and then using the same thing multiple times with different instruments. Like I add a lot of interest at this point here because we repeat the same melody but with like a new like layer to it. Here, we'll isolate these. So never ever be afraid to just like repeat a part with a new instrument, because you'll find all sorts of cool new layers to your pieces when you're working on music. Um, just like playing the same part with a new instrument will open up all sorts of cool new ideas. Okay, Ali Catnap has a question. How do you know how long to let a certain part go on? Is there a standard for how long? Like before the brain is like, that's too much, stop please. Yeah, some of it is like, a lot of it's just intuition. Like I just have to like listen to it, figure out like when I start to get annoyed with a certain part. But I also have a tendency to be like, no part should play too long. Like I'm always very I used to listen to trance music when I was a teenager, and while I loved it, I hated how long everything went on for. Like one part would go on for like a minute and a half, and it would be like unchanging, like the same four measures, and very little would change. And that drove me insane, and I always wanted them to be like, well, just put it like compact it, just cut out parts and make it more interesting, or like, why don't you add another melody to this, or why don't you do something different? And so I'm always very aware of it, and I always tend to cram a lot of ideas into a small space. So maybe I'm not the best at pacing, I don't know. I might be switching ideas up too often. But yeah, I tend to like err on the side of caution when it comes to like dragging things out. I try not to. And then my all my music tends to be a bit shorter than maybe some other people's because of that. All right, F Kids has a question. When you're working on multiple projects at a time, would you say that they leave an influence on each other? Yes, they definitely influence each other. Because like I'll be working on something in say Darkside Detective, and I'll write a melody, and like I won't like it in the game, and I'll just be like, just put it away. I'll just discard it. I'll use it. Maybe I'll come back to it later or whatever. But then I'll be like, oh, maybe it'll just work well in Skytorn or something, and then it'll go to Skytorn. And like, it's also just like every project tends to get influenced by whatever I'm thinking about at the time. So like all the projects will be influenced similarly. So like for example, like Gravity Ghost and FTL both have like my signature like arpeggiated chip sounds with delay on them. Just because that's what I was like way into at the time. And like Starcrawler doesn't have that at all because it was later. So, okay, let's actually do some writing here. So I want to do a theremin sound. Now I think I may have a preset for that, but let me check. All right, hang on. So I did get Omnisphere, and Omnisphere has a bunch of great theremin sounds, so I'm going to use that. So let's load up Omnisphere. So this is a synth that I recently got. Can you search for these? I haven't actually tried the search function. Yeah. All right, so we got a bunch of theremins. What else we got? Whoa. Okay, not that. Not that. Let me turn this down while we experiment here. Ooh, yeah, here we go. Let's look at some other ones, though. Lightspeed Theremin's pretty great. Sounds really nice, but it's not what we're looking for. Yeah, that's not gonna fit. Theremin at the disco. Whoa. Okay, that's. We don't need that. It's all this stuff. I think that that Lightspeed one's gonna be the one we use. What's this one? Whoa. Ooh, this is a really nice one too. Nope. Alright, so it's between Theremin's Journey and Lightspeed Theremin. Let's put a filter on this thing. Still not, I'm not really sure yet. I guess this sounds more appropriate for Darkside. Yeah, this one, I think this one's better. I'm gonna keep a little bit of a filter on it. So I'm using a filter here. I'm gonna pull this out and I'm gonna show you guys what this filter is for. So this is a filter at 0, right? And you're gonna see the spectrum analyzer here. So if you look, you can actually see the frequency range move as we go up here. If we go way up, pretty cool, right? Now there's not a whole lot going on at the lower ranges, but there is this stuff here. Like, what is this? And we may not be able to perceive it or hear it very well, but it is competing with other stuff in the mix, and we don't need it there. Like, we only need what's here, right? That's the essential part. So we use this filter here to cut off the bottom parts, like all the stuff that's at the lower ranges. It may be hard to tell, but maybe when we play lower registers. Here it is without the filter. And then with the filter. See, it's like a lot more palatable. And it won't compete with other instruments. Like, we have the nice bass and we don't want it to get muddy. So we're cutting out that stuff. You can also do that with this. Like, you can just like turn it down, but it's usually inelegant and it doesn't sound as good. So I prefer filters. So anyway, Let's go back and listen to the whole thing. I want to figure out what kind of melody I want taking over from the previous melodies. Hey, Irido. Yeah, so there is some like similarity here, definitely between this and Flashback. Uh, Mainly because one, uh, Paul, the artist, asked me to use 80s John Carpenter music as an influence, and Flashback, despite having been developed in the 90s, is like the most 80s game like ever, and they definitely have like a very 80s sensibility, including the music. Um, Definitely, I think John Carpenter also influenced the music in Flashback. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, so you know what else? There's this um, jazz kit that I added one while back and didn't really use. I don't remember what it sounds like, but let's take a listen. It could be terrible. I think I added this between live streams. I didn't do much work on this and off the live stream, but I do think I added this jazz kit. Might be cool. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like it. I'm gonna keep it out for now. Hmm. Actually, it was kind of cool. I don't even remember what I played. So we did another like conversation style thing. Oh, another thing that I probably should have explained a long time ago is that so you probably have figured out that each horizontal item here is an instrument, right? So like here we've got the bass line. Whoa. And like this is the bell. So anyway, but whenever I click on one, that's what my keyboard plays. So like if I'm like, oh, I want to use like this gravity instrument. Like I just click on this and then I can play it. Or like here I want to use this synthesizer here. And it immediately switches to that. So that's how I sort of like move quickly back and forth between different instruments, is I just click on this part here. I'm still really curious about this jazz kit. Like I felt like I didn't like it, but I kind of want there to be a jazz kit. I don't know. I don't know if it'll fit. Still kind of loud. Oh, it's kind of doesn't work, and it's kind of cool. Let's listen to the whole thing. We'll go back to the beginning. Hey, thanks, Iridil. I do really enjoy doing these. I look forward to it every week, and I want to do multiple creative live streams a week. I want to do 2. That's part of the Patreon that I described earlier. Hey, Recursion. Oops. I still don't think the jazz kit really works. It sounds cool, but I don't think it fits with the forest setting. Jazz is like the sound of like cities and urban areas, and not really like, doesn't really fit, I think, with like a Cub Scout camp. As much as I like it. Yeah, I should mute it right now because it's starting to grow on me, and I don't think it works for this. So I'm taking it out now. Alley Catnap had asked earlier about parts overstaying their welcome, like how long do you know when something's too long? And I'm starting to think this bell is lasting too long. I think after I don't even know how many measures this is, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 measures of it. It's been going for too long. So we got to change this up somewhere for here. Either introduce a new instrument to play the same part, or change this around somehow. An easy thing to do would be like to change the octave. So let's grab it and we'll move it maybe an octave down. It might sound really weird. Let's try it, see what it sounds like. It's actually kind of cool. Let's do both of them. I don't know if it works. Let me, I'm going to try moving it up 1 octave instead of down 1 octave. So we'll move it 2 octaves up from where it is now. 1, 2. And then let's try that. Yeah, I don't know if I like that either. So let's move it back for now. And let's think about introducing a new instrument to play that same part instead. Because I like the part, but the instrument itself is like getting a little, at that point it's getting a little old sounding, and like, we don't want that. So let me look for, so I'm looking through presets that I've already built for Darkside Detective to see if there's anything that might work for this part. We do have a piano. That might be kind of cool. Let me pull up that piano. Oh yeah, this might work. So we take this and we double it and we move it down here and we mute this part. Alright, see you later, Alley Catnap. I will see you tonight. Okay, so I kind of like this. I like it, but I'm willing... I want to keep looking for stuff. So let me look through presets again. So normally I have to hide this because it has, like, information about other projects that I can't talk about yet. What about this thing? What is this? Interesting. Let's try it. Probably won't work. No, never mind. Taking that out. Remove. Let's try a different thing. What is this? Oh, this might be cool. Turn it down a bit. I don't know if this fits. Nah, don't like that either. Recursion, I don't remember why it's called bong. There must have been an instrument or something that was called something bong or something. I really don't remember. Mondo, that might be cool. Yeah, there's an instrument. Yeah, it's called... I think it's a steam pipe instrument. And it's called bong. That's it. Actually, that might be good for this part. Yeah, I like this. We could even do, like, have this come in later. Like that. Well, maybe we'll worry about that later. This is pretty cool. Hey, Retrocade. I don't know if I have a mandolin instrument anywhere. Also, hi, Berserk. We may not need this for now. Let's not worry about it. Oh, we should keep this going. I'm gonna go back and listen to the whole thing because I'm too far deep. Hey, Chocobo Dundee. It's pretty cool. I'm taking out the bass line that comes in there. I'm just not going to have it. It'll come in later. So, Chocobo Dundee asks, would it be feasible for someone to compose on PC without a keyboard? I've heard people say that you can. I have never attempted it, and I think that by not doing it, you're just making it more difficult for yourself. I think it's worth it to get like a small $100 USB keyboard. Most software instruments are built to be used by a keyboard, and it's like without it, it's like trying to play imagine trying to play Super Mario 64 on your PC keyboard, and it's like you can do it, but it's much more difficult than it needs to be because it's made for a controller. So that's kind of how I feel about trying to compose on a PC without a music keyboard. You can do it, but it's much more difficult than it needs to be. So I like where this is going so far. Let's listen to this again. Yeah, beating Dark Souls on a Guitar Hero controller. Exactly. Abs Aeon channel on 33rd bar kind of ended weirdly. I don't know. I don't know. Sounds okay to me. MPK Mini. Let me look it up. MPK Mini keyboard. Yeah, I'd say that's good. In fact, I think that's what I had. I had something similar to that one. Yeah, I had an Akai, or I think I still have one. And I had it was just 2 octaves, and I wrote some of FTL on it and a lot of Gravity Ghost on it, and it was fine. Yeah. 2 a 2-octave keyboard is great, especially when you're just like starting out. Just like go for it. 3 octaves is another good, like, it's a good compromise between portability and like usage. There's the Korg micro key is 3 octaves and it's portable. And that's another good one. But yeah, I would just say get like one of those little cheap keyboards that's USB, and you'll be totally happy and you can make a lot of stuff with it. So it's so obnoxious to try to set it up to work with your workstation that it's like it's not worth it. I just use a regular keyboard. You can just have that go for those measures. It's kind of nice by itself. Yeah, Nivex is right. It's just like, it's always obnoxious to try to get it to actually work with your system. It's usually not worth it. I have no use for that stuff. It's so obnoxious to try to set it up to work with your workstation that it's like it's not worth it. I just use a regular keyboard. You can just have that go for those measures. It's kind of nice by itself. Yeah, Nivex is right. It's just like, it's always obnoxious to try to get it to actually work with your system. It's usually not worth it. Oh, cool. Mr. Kawabo just bought the FTL LPs. Awesome. Thanks. Um, yeah, if you guys haven't seen them yet, the FTL vinyls are pretty amazing. Hmm. But if you could get weighted keys, if you get a small keyboard that has weighted keys, that would be amazing. I'm waiting for them to invent that. So I'm thinking of having these 4 bars just be this part repeating, and then introduce something here. Maybe we'll take this out first. Let's not make any assumptions that we want to keep doing that. Maybe we'll bring this back, but with a different instrument. Like this demon string. Let's see how that sounds. Does sound pretty cool. So Recursion asks, wait, what is the soundtrack's main theme or motif? It doesn't actually have like a very strong main theme. So Recursion asks, wait, what is the soundtrack's main theme or motif? It doesn't actually have like a very strong main theme driving it. Doing something a little different with this soundtrack. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't said. I should probably put in the title or something the game if it's a specific game. So we're working on the music for Darkside Detective, and let me show you some screenshots of the particular section that I'm working on right now. So here's some screenshots. Darkside Detective is a point-and-click adventure game where you play as a investigator who investigates the occult. And this particular scene is when you visit a scout camp, like a kids Cub Scout thing. The game is supposed to be really goofy. It has kind of an irreverent sense of humor, very Monkey Island-esque. But the music direction is that it's supposed to sound kind of like a John Carpenter soundtrack from the 80s. So that's sort of that's the direction we have. So anyway, let's go back and listen to the whole thing. So Retrocade, it's goofy. It gave me a Twin Peaks Lovecraft vibe. Yeah, I mean, it definitely does give off those vibes, but it's also goofy. It's both at the same time. Hmm. Hey, sorry, Recursion, but I can't take suggestions from the chat. And I forgot to say it this time, but I usually say it at the beginning of the live stream. But for legal reasons, I cannot take suggestions from the chat, unfortunately. Oh, Mr. Kawabo asks, how would indie game developers get in touch with you about composing for them? Yeah, Monk of Destiny there posted a link to my contact info, but yeah, just email me is basically what the way to get a hold of me. Oh, we got some questions here. Yeah, I haven't upgraded to Windows 10 yet on this machine because I don't know how it's going to deal with Cubase yet. I got to do more research. Marty Wars asks, how do people even know about you? I mean, I'm probably the only one who saw you in the end credits of FTL and searched you up. Well, you can. FTL was kind of a huge hit, so that's sort of how I got known. And I also do a whole lot of work to make sure that I continue to be known. Like I do these live streams, and I maintain a Twitter and like a Facebook page, and I respond to emails. And I think a lot of people either just know my name because it's right there on the soundtrack when you buy it on Steam. You can buy the soundtrack And then if you search for my name, I have a pretty unique name, so it's easy to find me online. Still not really sure where to go with this. Getting rid of that because I can't do anything with it yet. But yeah, I mean, the best answer for how do people know about me is to ask yourself, how do you know about me? And that's probably how other people also know about me. What we could do the old standby, which is like doing a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's that gonna sound like? Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I don't think it works for this. No. We can grab these. Oops. Let's swap them. That's actually pretty cool. Well, Narwhal, you say you don't think the FTL soundtrack would work with an orchestra, but you would be amazed at how many people I get requesting orchestra versions of FTL. I think it could work. I'm just not the one to do it, I think. Maybe someday I'll try it. I don't really have like a great orchestra library to work with, so I haven't really been able to try, really, but someday I might. What if we take this and move it back here? Seriously, Recursion, if you can record that stuff and get it out there, people will eat it up, because I get people requesting that all the time. Yeah, I think it could work. think if we can do this again. Yeah, I can imagine that there's a lot of stuff that doesn't translate well to the orchestra, because fast synth arpeggios never translate well to orchestra. But I bet Mantis would be really cool. What is this chord? Oh, it's just... yeah. Forgot to record. So we're kind of going for like an ambient sound here at the end. Let's move back a bit, get some context here. Alright, see you later, Recursion. Have fun with Finale. RMVW asks, how much hours do you have in FTL? I don't know. I'd say maybe like 35, 40 hours, maybe. Probably. I could be wrong. It's hard to, I don't really keep track necessarily, so I guess Steam would probably have some data. I've beaten it once. $72 hours? That doesn't sound right. I did do some live streams of it though, that probably added a lot to it. All right, see you later, Zach. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I don't like this. Alright, see you later, Retrocade. Thanks for joining. I'll be here next week. Thanks, Marty Wars. Yeah, I think it does fit. Fits better than I was expecting. Yeah. Nah, I don't like that. I like that a lot better. Monk of Destiny asks, when you write for adventure games, do you ever feel the need to limit the length of any individual tracks because of it being of the adventure game variety? Or does it not factor in at all? You just let the durations come to a natural conclusion. I actually feel like adventure game music needs to be longer than normal because you're pretty much just sitting like you're thinking and you're moving around in sort of static environments. Not much is happening on the sound effects side. So the music needs to be interesting and it needs to be varied. If it's short and loops a lot, you're going to hate it real fast because there's nothing else to hold up what's going on. So like in an action game, you have like say like a shooter, you have like gunfire and explosions and characters talking to you, and this game has no spoken dialogue. It has very little sound effects. The music has to carry so much. So I want it to be, every track needs to be like long and varied and move around a lot. Oops. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do either. Whoops. Delete. We're going to write a little part here. Let me think about it some more. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, that's what I was wanting. I didn't even need to just play it. Whoops. There we go. To go back for some... You know what? Let's listen to the whole thing again, because we haven't in a while. So let's go back. Yeah, I like where this is going. This is coming together pretty well. Mr. Kawabo asks, do you ever feel the creative process goes nowhere after hours of composing the same track? Yeah, that happens a lot. And that's just something that you have to like get used to as a creative person, artist. It's just like some days things aren't going to work out. You're going to work for a while and everything's just going to fail. And it's something I've been really afraid of happening on this live stream sometime, where I like try to write something and then it goes nowhere and it's really awkward. But so far I've been really lucky and it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, it does happen. And you just sort of have to factor that into your plans. Like, know that some of your days are just not going to go well, and when it doesn't, just drop it, leave it, go do something else, listen to some other music, and come back later. So, yeah, that kind of thing, it happens, and you can't really avoid it, and you just got to live with it. Let's try that an octave higher. I like this. I'm enjoying this part because it feels different from the rest of the song, which is good. That's what you want. You want it to keep changing and evolving. Let's keep it down an octave, but then do another one at a higher octave. Whoops. Grab that. So I think we're going to be wrapping it up soon. So give me any questions you have, and I will answer them. And we'll play this one more time, and then we'll cut it. So thanks, Skelly fella. I'm really happy to hear that. Keep coming back, because I'll be doing this every Saturday, and I have been for a while now, which is awesome. And also, I love your name, Skelly fella. That's a pretty great handle. think this part needs to be a little bit quieter. Maybe a lot quieter. Yeah, that sounds good. What if we have 2 notes there? Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. Mr. Kaiwabo asks, what games did you enjoy growing up? So, my favorite game... Let me think here. So I played a lot of games as a kid, but I didn't quite like really appreciate and enjoy them until I became like a teenager. But we had a Mattel Intellivision when I was growing up. That was our first game system, and I played Armor Battle on that, and I was terrible at it. Then we eventually got a Nintendo, and I played some things on that, but I wasn't really into it. I think I was too young, and it was sort of when we got a Super Nintendo that I started to get into stuff. And of course, I love Super Mario World, and I played like a lot of the old RPGs. Like I played Chrono Trigger, and Earthbound was another favorite of mine. Earthbound's one of my favorite games of all time. It still holds up really well, so you should try it. It's on the Wii U now, and I think on the 3DS now. But yeah, it's also one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. So you should check out Earthbound. Another big thing that I loved was Daggerfall for the PC. It's an old Elder Scrolls game. It was actually the Elder Scrolls game before Morrowind. It came out in 1996, I think. But man, that game, I was obsessed with that. It barely ran on my computer, but I played the hell out of it. Maybe not. Maybe those 2 notes is too busy. Just delete it. Alright, let's go back to the beginning. Guys, feel free to ask questions, and I will answer it when the song is done, and then we will cut it for today. Let me pull up the screenshots again. We can even do like a slideshow. Whoops. Oh, I guess it does its own. This is ridiculous. I'm not doing the slideshow. It's too distracting. All right, yeah, I think we're getting close to wrapping this up. Spooky Door, I should send you some updated screens. I actually took those screenshots myself from the build that I played, just so I'd have something to show you guys on the live stream. Okay, so Nivex asks, how's the guitar learning going on? It's going very slowly. I'm playing things to record for Skytorn, but I haven't really been practicing much, and I really got to get back on that. My guitar, Marty Wars asks, what's your guitar? It's this. It's a Fender Stratocaster HSS. It's very nice. I love it. It's very easy to play. I will not play anything because I'm terrible at playing. Sorry. Maybe someday I will play on the live stream. But before I go, I'm going to share with you guys, share something with you guys that I made for Skytorn. Would you guys be interested in hearing something from that? This is something I made yesterday. Let me close this. I'm going to move this away so you guys don't see it. Skytorn and... The Fender is really cool, but I want to get another guitar that has more high end, like a bit more twangy. The Fender is like all mid range sound, and I would really like a cleaner, brighter sound from a guitar. So I may get another guitar in the future. All right, okay. So this track is super awesome. I'm so happy with it. I made this yesterday. It's first seen in Skytorn. Okay, so just to be clear, we're listening to something from a completely different game now. Skytorn is a Metroid-style platformer exploration adventure game. Anyway, there's a scene where you're being chased by like a boss monster, like a scary guy, and it's supposed to be kind of terrifying. So this is it's going to be kind of ugly, but it's also pretty awesome. So, oh yeah, there's a link to Skytorn if you want. Thanks, Monk. You can check out what the game looks like. The trailer on that website is not my music, though. Anyway, let's listen to this. Wait till you hear this. This is awesome. It's going to be a little bit loud, just so you guys know, and it's going to be a little weird. Turn it down a little for you. Oh, right, there's no, I always forget. Gotta turn on my recorder here. Let me get this going. MME. Start. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down because it's really loud. Alright, get ready. So that's it, and it repeats. So yeah, that's it. That's just for a terrifying chase scene. And that, what made me think of it is mentioning the guitar, because it has some guitar playing. I played this on my Fender. This little like. So my rhythm is terrible, but it works for this. The yelling is part of a library that I found. That it's not even like the main part of the library. It's like a percussion library, and then it was just like buried in there with these like weird shouting bits. And so I pulled those out and used them, and it works really well. Anyway, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. I'm only gonna play it once. I'm not gonna save. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. So that's from Skytorn, not Darkside Detective. But anyway, thanks everybody. Take these off. Oh, I can hear myself. Yeah, I will be back on Tuesday with Allison. We'll be playing more Resident Evil. And then Joe and I will be playing more Darkside. No, not Darkside. No, Dark Forces. Too many dark things. Joe and I will be playing Dark Forces on Thursday, and then I'll be back again on Saturday to do more creative live stream. I think where I'm going to keep going with the that Glowing Mind track that I started last week, the sort of like live stream original, the thing that I started on the live stream. So we will be doing lots of cool stuff this week. So yeah, and I will see you guys then. And thank you so much for joining. Follow me on here. Follow me on Twitter. Like my Facebook page. I do almost all my major announcements are done either on Facebook or Twitter. So if you follow those, you'll get like all the updates on what's going on. And I'll keep you guys posted on the Patreon that's coming up hopefully soon. And yeah, thanks everybody. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you next week.